Mm. Mm. Good evening. Good evening. So today's video is all about, well, today's topic. It's about, can you be single by choice? I mean, when you're a man, you can be single by choice. When you're a man, you can do whatever you want to do. But when you're a woman, can you be single by choice? Can you be single by choice when you're a woman, or is that only like a man thing? I know people are going to ask because people keep asking. So I'm drinking my, oh wait, electrolyte mix powder from Key Nutrients. You can get this from Amazon. It's the lemonade flavor. I love it. Keeps you young. Skin stays hydrated. And then also Mio lemonade. I put like, a few like squirts. I just like squirted in there. It tastes like lemonade to me. I don't know about everybody else, but it tastes like lemonade to me. And if you get, a little intoxicated and you need some recovery at my age, this will do it. This will do it. Okay, these two. All right, this will do it. Going once, going twice. And there you have it. Okay, so if you want to know what I'm drinking on, ooh. I mean, the fact that it's refreshing when you mix those two together, I don't know. It's just, it does a lot for me, honey. I don't know. It just does something for me.
Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Christine said, why would this not be possible? Girl, I don't know. You gotta tell me why it's not possible, because I be having a good old time by myself. Girl, when you be in your own energy, but see, you gotta have good energy. See, I think this is really about people who don't have good energy, so they don't like being in their own company. I have bomb energy. Like, I'm obsessed with my own energy. Sometimes when I be like with a bunch of people, I'll be like, oh my God, I can't wait to get back alone, because I just have really good energy. I don't know. I think it's for the people that don't really like themselves. They'll be having a hard time. But me, like, it's cool to hang out with some family, some friends, and even like be around people and socialize. But girl, I be sprinting to get back to my energy. Like, let's listen to it. Silence. You hear that? I mean, come on. Seriously. I don't know. But this is a topic, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I love my energy, okay? And see, that's why I be so hesitant about letting people in my energy. Because when you let people in and they don't be on the frequency that you be on, they just mess it up. they just mess it up. And you just be like, people think I'm unbothered. And it's not that I'm unbothered. It's not. Like, I could be real with you and say I'm not unbothered. I just protect my energy at all costs. Like, if I have to address you, right, and it has the ability to mess up this frequency, like this vibration that I'm on, I'm not addressing you. Like, I'm protecting my energy. I'm sorry. I protect it at all costs. So people be like, oh my God, she never addresses anything. I'm like, because by me addressing you, I have to subject myself to your energy. And I just don't want to do that. Okay. Your energy stinks. And I don't like it. So for some people, they just don't understand that. Like, I don't like it. Okay. I don't like it. But let me pull up this video because I forgot to pull it up. I was a little distracted. Okay. Before I get into this though, you know what? No, we're just going to keep flowing. I'll talk about Ebony here in a sec. All right. So let me pull this up. Or should I talk about Ebony first? I'm going to talk about Ebony first. Let me get that out the way because it's not going to be that long. So let me share this. And I'm doubling down on my Ebony stance. The woman is projecting. And I'm about to prove to you how she's projecting. I told you she's projecting. Okay, and people are in a frenzy about that. Now, let's listen to this again, and then I'm going to tell you why I feel like she's projecting.
That needs to be said out loud is that as Black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for Black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger Black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated Black men is so low when compared to Black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men. And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 Black women students for every 1 Black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young Black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD. Because the handful of Black college-age men that actually do desire to get married soon, and they do share that value system, and family is a priority for them too, y'all, that is an incredibly small pool, and it's shrinking as you get older. And by the time you reach my age, 40, you will be faced with different choices relating to life partnership and motherhood. Now, I'm not saying that delaying marriage or motherhood is a bad option, but it's one that comes with its own consequences. And our women deserve to know on the front end of their decision making instead of on the back half.
Okay. So
the reality,
first and foremost, she said, when you reach my age, when you reach the back end, I guess when you reach that area in your life where it's going to be harder for you to have children, et cetera, right? My issue with Ebony isn't that she feels this way, because she has every right to have this opinion, just like I have every right to have mine. However, she has this mindset where, and this is why I feel like it's projection. She has this mindset where she feels like her happiness is in the regrets So in her personal regrets, her regrets that we know nothing about, but it kind of came out a little bit in here. It's clear that she has some regrets. It's clear that she wished she would have made some different choices earlier on in her life. She actually believes that her happiness would have been in different choices that she did not make, but she regrets. But see, the issue that I have with this is that once again, Black women or women in general are being forced to seek happiness and liberation outside of themselves. And that's my issue. So Ebony is fantasizing this choice that she wished she would have made because she believes that is where her happiness is. I don't feel like Ebony is currently happy with her life and some of her choices that she's made previously, which has led her to this thought process. And see, my issue has always been in the Black women's empowering space that the empowerment was always in men. It was never within ourselves. So even when we have these conversations about women empowerment, typically like femininity, swirling, divesting, at the center of these empowering movements has always been about men. So is it shocking that Ebony is saying, you know, oh, basically don't be like me, don't become me, because she thinks that her choices, her happiness lies in making different choices earlier in her life. And that may not be true because nothing in this life is guaranteed. She could have gotten married earlier in life and her 40s could still look the same. It could still look the same, but she thinks through her regrets that if she would have made different choices, her happiness would be in her 40s. And that's not always the case. And I feel like that is what is setting women up every single time. I see women who get upset when they see women like Jodie Turner get divorced, or they see women out here where it's like, oh, they're separating, another relationship, unsuccessful, another divorce, and it's because women don't understand that their happiness is something that is internal. It's not something that you get through these milestones. The system, the patriarchy teaches women from a very young age that your happiness is in marriage, kids, degrees, everything that benefits the patriarchy. Men are also told the same thing, that their happiness is in money, it's in the rat race, it's in having multiple women, it's in all of these external things. And so when you get with men, they're broke, they don't have a lot of money, they're not happy, and they think that their happiness is in a bigger bank account. It goes both ways when we speak on this conversation with men and women. It's just depending on how the patriarchy benefits, that's what's going to be sold to you. So for women, it's kids. Why is it kids? You create the job labor force. You create and you uphold capitalism for the rich, the elite to be richer, because you create the workers for the workforce. Okay. For men, kids as well, like a legacy is pushed on them because you have to, quote unquote, provide for the kids in the family so that you can go to work, which also it promotes more workers. So more men in the work field, in the workforce. So kids is pushed on them, legacy, family, all of that is pushed on them. Degrees is pushed. It used to be pushed on men, but now it's pushed heavier on women because the patriarchy benefits from that as well. Like women being in debt, literally debt. And they will always be a slave to those student loans. The patriarchy creates these things to make you a slave, basically. But they want you to believe that this is where your happiness lies. Working 40 hours a week, raising a family, managing to juggle between a tight schedule. Your kids, you rarely see them. Like your kids during the school year, they see their teachers more than they see you. This entire system is all about the patriarchy. And even men, some of them are not even smart enough to understand that they don't even know what their happiness is. The patriarchy kind of dictates that for them as well. As long as they're at work 40 hours a week and they get that check every 2 weeks or every month. So it's not even just a woman thing. Like, it's the system, and we all are a part of it. So Ebony has been programmed to believe that her happiness is in making that decision of getting married when she got that degree. And that's not realistic. What I want women to understand is, like, your happiness is always within you. And whatever choice and decision you choose to make with your life, that's up to you. But your happiness is something that it just goes with you. It's not when you reach a certain milestone or you reach a certain success level. Like, it's something that you carry inside of you, no matter what choice or decision you choose to make. But the question is, are you at peace with yourself? Or is your happiness and your peace determined by these external things that really take more from you than they give to you? Because that's the system. So I don't know. So my whole take on this is, I don't think Ebony is happy. I think she fantasizes and she romanticizes choices that she wished she would have made, thinking that she would be happier at 40. But that is not always the case. Life is never that simple. Divorce is 50-50 now. Like, if you get married, the chances of your marriage lasting, it's the roll of a dice. Roll the dice, see how it lands. So I don't think that marriage means that you may be happy. That's why it's important that you find it in you. Like, you have to find it in yourself. Men too, because men think having a lot of women and money will bring them some type of happiness or peace. And it won't. It won't, because all of these things take from you. Marriage takes from you. Kids take from you. Work, career takes from you. That's why your happiness and your peace is internal. You can't take from you. But these things that we idolize and we put on pedestals, they take. And what do we say? We say, oh, it takes a lot of work, right? Your happiness shouldn't take work. Your peace, it shouldn't take work. That's my point. So dive deeper with me when we have this conversation about Ebony. I do give her grace, even when with me having this opinion, I give her grace. Why? She's been programmed. She's been programmed, you know, like, honestly, I came across these tweets. Let me show you. She has been programmed, like many of us. We all have been programmed to believe in something that doesn't really truly benefit us. It benefits the system. Okay, so this woman tweeted and asked, she commented and she asked Ebony a question. And she said, Ebony, where's your ring? And then Ebony responded and said, I've had two. I divorced my first husband and gave back the second. The advice is for women that want marriage. Then this lady responded and said, you're giving advice on wanting marriage. You need to give advice on how to stay married. You have a failed marriage and engagement, right? ? Did you learn from it? How can you help the next generation not make that same mistake? Anyone can get married. Staying married is the challenge. You proved that. And I have to be honest with you. I don't think marriage is happiness. I think happiness is something that you have within yourself. And I think the only way a marriage can truly last and stand the test of time is when you're at peace with yourself and you meet another person that is also at peace with themselves. They're happy with themselves. You're happy with yourself. But to force marriage and you're not in a good place, you're not happy, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. It seems like a waste of time. So let's continue. And then I told you that's remember when I said be careful who you take advice from? It's giving Lydia from Love is Blind, but it's giving Lydia and Aaliyah. Okay. Ebony responded and said, some women aren't concerned with staying married. They want to get married. And see, that's what I don't agree with. Do not conflate the two. Because I was married, that I learned that I didn't want it. I'm not projecting. I'm assuming she meant projecting my desires onto others. I'm assuming that's what she meant. Marriage is for some and not for others. And it's all okay. This is a woman that has not done the work on herself that's giving advice, which means, like I said, she projects. She projected. All right. And honestly, if I'm honest, the bus driver conversation, she got attacked by the red pill community. Let's be real about it. By black pill, a black, red pill, black manosphere, whatever. She got attacked. And maybe the comments got to her, you know, who knows? Because she's not making any sense here. Then the commenter responded and said, you just lied. You said it's because I was married. I learned I didn't want it. Why did you get engaged the second time around? Question mark. Sounds like the blogs were right. He chose his children over his fiance. Could that be why you don't want it? Question mark. If you're going to give advice to women, be honest. You did want marriage again. That's why you got engaged. Heal, Ebony, heal. So, listen. She's not happy, and that's okay, right? But I still think she thinks that she missed out on her happiness. And I don't believe that. She may have missed out on marriage for a second time, but I don't think she missed out on her happiness. That's it. So be careful who you take advice from, because it may not be coming from a healthy place. It may be coming from a good place in their mind, but it may not be coming from a healthy place. And I kind of peeked that it wasn't coming from a healthy place. All right. So again, your happiness, it's in you. It's not something that takes from you. It's something that is in you. Okay. So when you meet your husband or a boyfriend, or you get your degree, you were already happy prior to receiving or reaching those milestones. And if you're not, you need to ask yourself why. Because those things should not complete you, or those things shouldn't make you happy. You should be making yourself happy. Because if something does not go the way that you want, if you don't get your desires in this lifetime, you should still be happy though. So that's just something that you have to be careful about, okay? But like I said, I give her grace. Sounds like she's been through a lot, honestly. Yes, I plan to do, I'm waiting for the next episodes, girl. But yes, I plan to do a video on Love is Blind this season with Uche, Aaliyah, and Lydia. Girl, they all three are a mess. All three. Aaliyah, Lydia, and Uche, a mess. All right. JP, a mess. Izzy, a mess. So yeah, this season was the whole show. I don't even know why this even reached the lighter day. Like, what did they want some drama this season? Like, what is tea? Oh my gosh, girl, a mess. A mess, girl, a mess. And Lydia, all right, remember when I gave you the advice and I said, You cannot trust all women. Didn't I say that? I said you can trust a woman, but you can't trust all women. Didn't I say that? I knew day one. If you follow me on Instagram, because I did my little reaction on my Instagram story, I was like, girl, why do I get this weird ass energy that she's trying to sabotage Aaliyah's relationship with Uche? And lo and behold, what did she do? She sabotaged that relationship. Why? Because Aaliyah was being gullible, thinking, oh, she's a woman and I trust all women and all women are my friends. That woman was scorned from day one. She was plotting against Aaliyah. And Aaliyah was like, but I love her and I love you. And girl, I was hot. I was mad as hell. I was just like, girl, why are you listening to this? You don't know her. I was mad. All right. Yeah, I feel like Lydia is the biggest villain on the show this season. And I feel like Izzy is, girl, that's a mess. But we're gonna talk about it because I got to talk about that. But I'm waiting for the next few episodes. I may do a live tomorrow. I haven't decided. But girl, that whole situation a mess. So let's stay on topic because oh my gosh, I was so mad. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about this video. It's titled "Single by Choice." Now, this YouTube channel, it's called Decentering Men. So let me give you some disclaimers before we get into this, because I don't have time for the bitter Tyrones. I don't have time for the bitter Tyrones and the bitter women who think that this is about some hate man thing. So let me give a disclaimer. Where I'm at in my life, I probably haven't been this happy in a very long time. I mean, can you tell? I mean, the skin is skinning, honey. Can you tell? Like, I'm just really happy. I'm content. Honestly, when it comes to men and my past relationships, I'm really over that. Within the last 3 years, I've really worked on healing my relationships with the men in my life, starting with my father, my older brother second, because that man has brought on some trauma for me as well. And just bettering my relationships with the men in my life that I actually do value. Now, when it comes to relationships with men from my past, honestly, with maturity and with therapy, I have overcame those past experiences. Not saying that I have forgotten those past experiences, because I do have my triggers, but I know how to communicate like, hey, this is triggering me. Can you not do that? And if a person or if a man truly values me and he cares about me, he will adjust if need be. And if he doesn't feel like he needs to do that, I know how to disconnect and move on. And there's no beef, there's no bitterness, there's no hate. It's just me choosing to choose me and never, ever abandon myself ever again for a man, because I am the co-creator of my life, and I get to choose who's in it. I get to choose the characters. I get to choose who gets to be a part of that. So that is where I'm at in my life. So the question is, can you be single by choice? I'm definitely single by choice. I get gang stalked by exes on YouTube. Honestly, the last live or the live before that, girl, the narcissist was in the chat box. I don't know how he popped up. I literally blocked this man everywhere. Okay. Email, changed my number. I blocked him on my last number, changed my number, blocked him on Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine, Twitter, everywhere, girl, everywhere. Still stalks. And then just other men that I've dealt with after that still stalk my social media and stuff like that. But I have decided that I no longer want those type of men in my life. So I'm making better choices and decisions when it comes to men. And I understand that I have complete control over that. So I no longer feel the need to be a victim when I get to choose who I keep in my life. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. Also, my relationship with my father is improving slowly. It's like a slow burner. It's a slow burner rebuild. And I appreciate that, because we call each other, we talk. He asks me about my day and I ask him about his day. He just calls to checks in. He checks in on me. Not so much like he's overbearing or anything like that, but we just have a healthier relationship. So that's where I'm at in my life. So when we have this conversation, this is not no hate man thing. This is just me choosing to never abandon myself just to be with a man. Okay, because I've done that before. I've abandoned myself. I've abandoned who I am as a person just to fit in a man's world. And by me doing that, I betrayed myself. And I personally did not deserve that because I love myself. And that's just where I'm at. So, major, and I'm going to try divesting the school if any man has some. Well, I'm happy for you, girl. Go ahead. The sky's the limit. So that's where I'm at. So I just feel like I need to fill you in on where I'm at in life right now. I've released a lot of things. I just want to start new, fresh. I just want to start over, clean slate. You know, that's where I'm at. And I want to leave the past in the past. That's where I'm at. Okay. So let's start this from here. That is my disclaimer. All right. So that is where I'm at. So if you see me out here looking younger, that's probably why. I'm just saying it's probably why, because I've let a lot of stuff go. I think when you release things, you become younger. You know, like there were a lot of things that I was like really holding on to, just a lot of negative stuff that happened to me that I did not deserve, that was out of my control. But I have released those things. I have transmuted those things. You know, those bad things that happen, I have empowered myself with those things. So that's where I'm at in life. I just felt like you should know that just in case people come in here and they like saying weird stuff. I don't know. And I think the last thing is also the gender war thing. I've outgrown that. I keep saying I've outgrown that. It's just not something that I want to be a part of anymore. Honestly. Okay. So I'm always going to give both sides when I critique each gender, just to be fair. All right. Okay, let's get into it. Are you single by choice? And I love the opening. Ladies, brace yourselves. Okay.
Single by choice. I will tell anybody, do not come in here and disrupt my peace. If you're not going to protect my peace and preserve my peace, I'm not interested. I am open to the idea, but it just has to be right.
Sociologist Chris Marsh is the author of the new book, The Love Jones Cohort, Single and Living Alone in the Black Middle Class.
It's funny you say that because I never forget, I think it was my senior year of high school, and my father encouraged me to stay loyal to my career because it'll be more loyal to you than any man. But my mom was on the other side and said, but a career can't keep you warm at night.
Like, yes, a career cannot keep you warm at night, but you got a whole bunch of like heated blankets and stuff that you
made a video that went viral recently about how women are prioritizing peace over low-grade, low-effort relationships.
That's where I'm at in life. Do I need to rewind? Because I've abandoned myself. I compromised my peace to be in a relationship with a man because the patriarchy tells me you must get married. You must have children. But what about if this man is not really bringing me the things that I need, you know? So I really love the opening. All right. And no, you know, it would be nice to have a man keep you warm, right? It would. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, like, girl, you don't need a man. I see value in men that are valuable to me. All right. I see value in men that are valuable to me. What is a valuable man? A man that just does not take. He gives. Right? He gives. We exchange. I receive. He gives. I give. He receives. It's very balanced, very healthy. It's not even like a thought about being tit for tat, like, oh, he gave last time, so I need to give. It's not like that. It's like you're in sync, you're in flow, you're at ease. Didn't say it was easy. I said you're at ease, you're in flow, you're in sync, you're aligned. It just makes sense. That is where I'm at in life. So I haven't found that yet. So I'm single by choice because I have options. I could go backwards, but I already know what's back there. So I'm not going backwards. I have to go forward. All right. So I'm single by choice. That's just where I'm at. So let's continue. Why would women rather be single?
With men. And the number one comment that I got from men was, well, fine, if you can live without us, we're just not going to protect you anymore. So first of all, who exactly are you protecting us from? Is it Sarah that we're afraid is going to break into our home and assault us? Or is it men? Is it men that you're protecting us from? Secondly, when women say that we'd rather have peace and safety, we're not talking about physical safety. We're talking about emotional safety. The reason there is an epidemic of lonely, depressed men is because women.
Okay, let's highlight some things. I've talked a lot about that. Honestly, it wasn't until therapy where I realized I was never emotionally safe, but it started with my father, honestly. So I had to revisit that relationship. I was never emotionally safe with my father. I was physically safe, but I was never emotionally safe. So it started with that. Then it kind of trickled over to my mother. I was never emotionally safe with her either. You know, I think the reason why I looked at my father as more traumatizing was because I was a daddy's girl. So I was more connected to my father than my mother. But I was never emotionally safe with either parent. And so that was something I had to unpack in therapy as well. And so what a lot of men don't understand, like when we talk about protecting women, right? It's not just physical safety. Are you an emotional safe space for me? And a lot of men are not. Now, not because they don't want to be, not all of them, but some of them don't know how to be an emotionally safe space for women because they're not in tune and in touch with their emotions. And we live in a patriarchy that tells them that it's gay to be or it's sassy to be, you know? And so that creates some friction when you need that in a relationship. Like you actually need that emotional safety. The first place that I went to in my life, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but it's true. The first place that I went to in my life where I had that emotional safety was therapy. And then what I learned in therapy, I took outside of the sessions and I had to create that emotional safety in space for myself. And then I was able to create them in my relationships with people that saw me as valuable. And now I see them as valuable as well because I set some boundaries. And now I was able to create that in my relationships. And that's why I'm saying, like, my dad, that's a slow burner. Even my mother, that's a slow burner, rebuilding a better relationship and foundation with my parents. So that emotional safety is something I've now created for myself. And a lot of men out here are not offering that. You know, they offering some money though. Not gonna lie, they offering some money. They're offering weddings, rings, wedding dresses, and all type of stuff, but they're not really offering that emotional safety. And that scares me because if I agree to that, I have to go back to an older version of myself, and I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forwards. So that's why, like, this single by choice, it's a real thing, you know? It's not all bitter women out here. Like, some of us are just like, damn, we've done so much work on ourselves. We cannot go back to an older version of ourselves because we've worked so hard to get to this place. So I'm not willing to compromise that for men. All right. Not even for family and friends, because even my relationships with women. Okay. So I talk about this. In your adulthood, you tend to make better relationships with women. You just make better choices, especially when you do the work on yourself. You know how to connect with women in a healthier way. You know, no more trauma bonding, no more, oh, we go to the same school, or we work at the same job, or, you know, we have kids, girl. It's like, you know how to create better friendships in women as well. It's not even just men. So one of the main things that I look for in creating relationships with adult women is, are they at peace with themselves? because all of my past friendships, I was the one that would get that call and I would have to help my friend regulate her emotions and bring her to a level of peace. She could not regulate her own emotions. She had issues with being alone. So she had men in and out, men in and out, men in and out, men in and out. And her life was pretty chaotic. And so here I am, the friend that's more introverted, you know, helping her regulate her emotions based off of her choice and decisions. And she's not at peace with herself. So this conversation really can translate to men, friends, and family, because when you find your internal peace, anyone can really disrupt it. It's not just men. It could be family. It could be friends. Anyone can disrupt it. And so you also realize that you have to release some friends. You even have to block some family, because I block some family too. All right. If you are disrupting my peace, I will block you. It's just that simple. And it's not beef. It's not hate. I'm not mad. I just need to separate myself from your energy, because it's not in alignment where I am in life. That's it. So when you are at this place in your life where you're single by choice, you choosy with your friends too, and you choosy with your family as far as who you allow around you, your kids. You become very choosy. So this single by choice, it's also just you being overall more choosy, because again, this is your life. You're the main character, and you get to choose who your supporting actors and actresses will be. All right. Who your supporting characters will be, who that friend will be. You get to choose. There's no more, oh, I have to accept this. No, you don't. You get to create. And that may mean you got to put on some big girl panties and start blocking some people and releasing some people. And again, it's not beef. It's just, this just does not align with me. I'm sorry. So let's continue. Yeah. And then I have to be honest. Some of these men be depressed. Oh my gosh. Some of these men be depressed. They come into your life. They come with a dark cloud. And then don't be a woman with some good energy. Oh my God. Don't be that woman with some good energy. He see your energy like, oh my God. You see that big sun that's just walking by, and then here he come with his dark cloud, trying to get some of your sunlight. And then when he come into your life, right, he brings darkness. When you come into his life, you bringing all this sunshine. So I know how to see that now. My discernment, oh my God, my discernment is so much better, because I'm like, he got that dark cloud, girl. I can't help you with that. I can't help him. Okay. Some of these men be coming into your life. They come with a dark cloud, and all your sunshine, it just goes away. And it's just nothing but darkness. So be careful about that.
Women would rather be alone than in an emotionally unsafe relationship. I feel that we're in emotional danger when we can't be vulnerable and express how we feel, or being constantly criticized or put down or ignored. Or all the men run to the comments and say, well, we want to be valued too. Yes, you deserve that. But why are 72% of divorces initiated by women? And why statistically are women thriving in singledom and men are not? It is because women en masse are willing to put in the work, be self-reflective, and do what it takes to show up, and men simply are not.
I am learning that being a woman in her 30s who is single by choice is a radical concept to some people. So Valentine's Day was a couple days ago. It's my favorite holiday, has been for years. I planned this super cute solo getaway to Santa Barbara, like an hour and a half from where I live. I booked a spa day. I booked dinner for myself, like the whole thing. And I was so excited. And while I was there, after my spa day, I'm having a glass of wine. I'm playing Pac-Man while someone makes me a snack. I get a text from the guy that I've been on a few dates with, and he says, Happy Valentine's Day, and asks what I'm up to. So I send him some pictures of the day so far, and I'm like, oh, I'm up in Santa Barbara. I'm having a great time. And he texts back like, what? Did you plan this? I would have hung out with you. You didn't have to follow like a quarter life crisis at PCH and spend a bunch of money. And I was so confused, because I was like, what about this day looks like a crisis to you? I'm literally having the time of my life. I'm so happy. And then putting the pieces together, what I realized he thought was that I woke up on Valentine's Day, was sad that I was single, and drove an hour and a half away and spent a bunch of money to try to like make myself feel better. And the fact that that was his assumption of my day instead of this thing that I was doing for myself that I had planned weeks ago that I was excited about, I was just like, I was blown away. I mean, patriarchy.
Girl, and see, that's the thing. Single by choice is only for men. I don't know why. It's like, why do men get to be single by choice? But I'm single because either something's wrong with me, especially when you're attractive. Something's wrong with you. And then when you're an attractive woman, because there's layers to this here. When you're an attractive woman, it's a crisis, right? Because it's like society says you should have someone because you're attractive. Like, why are you single? So it's a crisis for you. But if she was like unattractive or overweight or something like that, it would be, well, you should know why. Because I've been on both sides. It's kind of like, well, you should know why. But if you're an attractive woman, you're in a crisis. But I don't know. It's crazy because like when people come to me and they say things like, why are you single? Like I get that question a lot. Like, why are you single? How are you single? Like what, how? And I'm just like, damn, first of all, I really do enjoy my company. I would go to Santa Barbara and do the same damn thing on the same day. Just because I feel like I deserve that. And I'm not going to wait for a man to go and do it. Like, if that's something I want to do, I'm going to go do it. I don't need someone holding my hand. Like, that's just weird. I will go and do it myself. Now, would it be nice? Yeah, but I'm just not going to wait. Like, my life, it's literally passing me by if I just wait. So either a man is going to plan it or I'm just going to go do it myself, because either way, like, I'm living. You know, like I think they expect for women not to live when you're single. Like your whole world is just supposed to stop because you have to wait for that man, or you have to wait for that ring, or you have to wait for that child. And it's just like, why would I do that? I'm gonna just go do it. Hey, what are we doing? I don't know. I just don't like that. So for her, like I said, because she's conventionally attractive, it's a crisis. But like I said, if she was conventionally unattractive, according to like the standards of beauty and stuff like that, or if she was overweight, it would be like, well, you should know why. You should know why. It's a mess. Just a mess.
Let me just respond to this on behalf of all the 40-plus-year-old single women who are.
So there was a man that commented and said, "You're leftovers. If you haven't found a man by now, get a cat and give up."
Single by choice, not because they can't find a man. We are not leftovers. We have made a beautiful life for ourselves. A lot of us are very independent, successful, able to completely financially sustain not only ourselves, but our beautiful families. The pool of men who are secure enough in their own identity that they are not threatened by women like that is about this big. So when we are single, it's because we have been dealing with men who are so insecure that they are threatened and they try to knock us down to make themselves feel better. And we don't have time for that.
So the same way Ebony projected, to be fair, men project. They don't know, like a lot of men, I don't feel like a lot of men know what it's like to be in their own energy and not use women energetically. So when they see a woman that doesn't need to use a man energetically, I think they are like low-key triggered by that because they need women. Some of them need multiple women. And it's not always just sexually, because I told y'all, like sometimes when this is why I don't accept like the male friend thing. I've blocked that too, girl. I blocked that out of my life. I don't have male friends. Male associates, yes. But no male friends, because I realized that some men will use you emotionally in friendship. They'll use you emotionally even in friendship, and then have like a line of women that they screw that they use as well energetically. So when a man comes across a woman that's not having sex, that's up in age, that's single, happy, they start to project, because it's just like, I don't think first of all, men are not even told how to just rely on themselves. Like even from a young age, some of these men were babied by their own mothers. So I think there's like a huge connection between childhood and how they saw their mother and how they energetically fed off of her energy energetically, and how that never stopped. Because as soon as he started having sex, he went from his mother's, titty to another woman's titty sexually. All right. And it's like that energetic connection from a feminine woman never stopped. So is it shocking that women are basically condemned in society for not using men in that way energetically? Some women that are traumatized, hurt, they do, they do. They use men in that way. But healthier women, I feel like healthier women don't depend on men energetically like that. So, like I said, yes, they went from the mom's boob to another woman's boob, and they never took time out just to be by themselves. And in the manosphere world, you're corny, like you're corny. They constantly need to be attached to a woman's energy. So they go right from their mother to a woman, and then many women after that. I'm just saying. So when they see you and they're like, you're single at 40 and you're not like attached to anyone energetically, like what is wrong with you? Because to them, that girl math does not make sense to their boy math. It's a mess.
We have such a beautiful life full of incredible, incredible things that we have worked our ass off to enjoy. We have probably dealt with a lot of man-childs who can't take a strong woman who doesn't need them, but just wants to be with them. Men have a tendency to want to fill the provider role. And when a woman is financially independent, emotionally able to be okay and feels whole without a man, they don't know what to do. But I'm going to tell you what to do. Be their best friend, okay? Make them laugh, comfort them, support them as they're pursuing your dreams. And I guarantee you, she will do the same in return. So to all the men out there wondering what's wrong with her, why is she still single when they see a 40-plus-year-old woman, understand that she is blissfully happy, so thrilled in her life that she doesn't want to have to deal with your insecurities. Because you're not.
Y'all remember Darius Jackson, the content creator who got exposed?
I told y'all, like that broke man pipeline, they be depressed. All right, because the patriarchy upholds the standard that men need money and lots of it. And if men don't have money and lots of it, they're not a man. That's what the system tells them. Now, does it benefit from that? Of course it does. That's why they feed them that program. Like, you're a man and you need to have money. If you don't, something's wrong with you. You're not a man. So it's just interesting. I'm sorry. It's just interesting how all of this works. And it's actually incredible. Like, I don't know, who created all of this? Like, it's actually like, when you think about it, it's like a big maze and it all connects and it all makes sense, but it doesn't always benefit you as a human being. All right. So a lot of broke men, they don't be happy. That's why I stay away from them, girl. It ain't because they broke and they drive, a 5-year-old model car. It's because a lot of them do not be happy because their peace is in their bank account. And if their bank account is low or it's on zero, girl, they start to project their insecurities on you. I told you this. Have you ever been with a broke man and you're just being optimistic because you're a dreamer? I'm a daydreamer. I'm a dreamer. And I'm like, oh my God, like I would love to go here. And you're just like being optimistic, like, oh my gosh, one day we'll go, right? And he gets like this really nasty attitude, like, why are you looking at that? I don't want to go there. And just kills your dream, kills this optimistic moment that you're having, where you're trying to have with him to like motivate them or inspire them. And they just shoot it down like real fast because they not happy with their pockets. That's why I can't do it, girl. I can't do it. Like I said, we not going backwards. We going forwards. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too much. I mean, damn, they just kill your dreams just like that.
For cheating on his wife like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember. He made a video which I unfortunately found myself agreeing with. So instead of stitching it and giving him any more attention because he truly irks me, I'm gonna just have to make a video about himself. In the video, he was saying that a lot of times when a woman is single for a long time, men or sometimes even other women will look at her like there's something wrong with her, when a lot of times that woman is just very smart. And he's 100% right. The longer that you go without a man, the clearer you start seeing things. And the clearer you can see, baby, the worse it is. But no, seriously, when you stop operating from a place of, oh, I need a relationship, I need a man, and you start really looking at these men for who they are and what they have to offer and what they can really bring to your life, the quicker you will start to realize that a lot of them are just not worth all of what we thought that they were.
Listen, she hitting on a lot. All right, let's talk about this though, because she said some women and men think that something is wrong with you when you're single for an extended period of time, right? But she's saying that women typically like that are very smart, all right? They're just very, very smart. Now, when you don't hop from relationship to relationship, when your end goal isn't to just be in a relationship, it's to truly be happy. It's not even to be happy. It's to keep your happiness. It's to keep the peace that you have curated within yourself, right? You're not going to hop from relationship to relationship. You're not even going to hop from situationship to relationship. You're not hopping from bed to bed. I'm sorry. You're not going to hop from bed to bed. Now, why? Because if you really pride yourself on like emotional stability, you're not going to subject yourself to a situationship. You're not. I'm sorry. You're not. Because if you subject yourself to a situationship, it's going to offset your emotional stability and you're just not going for that, right? So you tend to be celibate. You tend to be more reserved with your body. Not because you're on some high, mighty thing. It's literally because you know yourself, and because you know yourself, you value yourself. Because you know yourself and you value yourself, you love yourself. You know that if you are to subject yourself to that situationship, you're not going to be happy because it's going to create that emotional imbalance within yourself. And you've done it before, you've been there before, and because you take accountability over your life, you're not going to subject yourself to that. You already know what comes of it, so you're not doing it, right? But in this space that you have created within your life, where you don't hop from relationship to relationship, situationship from situationship, bed to bed, you're very clear on what you want. You're very, very clear on that. A lot of women that subject themselves to things just because they think that is what's going to make them happy, they tend to set themselves up, not intentionally, unintentionally, but they still do it, right? Because they think that their happiness will be on the outcome of that. That's not always the case. That's why I see women in situationships where man is wasting their time. They're not intentional. The woman is confused. And it's because they think that their happiness is going to be at the end of this man finally choosing you when he's been stringing you along in this situationship while still entertaining other women. So when you get to that level of emotional maturity, you'll release these type of flings and situationships, friends with benefits and things like that. I also think men will do the same. Men that are emotionally mature, when a man emotionally matures, he will also do the same thing. Why? Because he values himself. He's not going to subject himself to those flings, those situationships, because it will disrupt his emotional stability. That's what it's about. All right. That is what it's truly about. That is exactly what it's about.
This is not me hating on men. This is not that. This is me defending single women. That's it. The longer that you go without a man, the less stuff that you start to tolerate and the better you are at detecting when a man is really not worth your time. When your desire for partnership stops overriding your desire for genuine respect and genuine love, then you will start to see things so differently, and it is going to change you. You're going to make decisions that you probably would not have made before, and you're going to be a lot less willing to accept and settle for just anything. And the longer that you go being alone, at least in my experience, the more you enjoy being alone. And then that means when a man does come along, he's going to have to actually do something. You're going to have to make a real difference in my life, and you're going to have to make it very clear, because I am no longer just looking to be booed up just for the sake of being booed up.
Ooh.
No, sir. You're going to have to come over here with something tangible, something real, and something genuine. Otherwise, I can stay by myself. And the clearer you can see.
And I would like to add, you want to stay by yourself. Like, it's not even that, oh, I guess I'll stay by myself. No, you want to, because you already know what comes of it. Okay? You're avoiding that cry in the shower. You're avoiding that cry in your pillow. You're avoiding the 1 minute things are great, so you're on this high, and then the next minute things are, oh my God, it's a burning house. Oh my God, it's a train wreck. Oh my gosh, it's a burning building. You're avoiding it. Because you're smarter now. You're wiser now. You're making better choices and decisions, because what did you do? You started to take accountability and make better choices and decisions, so you don't end up in that burning house or that train wreck. You get what I'm saying? So you're going to make better choices and decisions. And women who are like this, it's harder for men to run game on you. It's very hard. It's almost like when they come in with the games, they're like, boop, boop, boop. Oh my God, like, get that out of here. Like, what was that? Oh my gosh. It's just harder for men to run game on you. It's harder for men to manipulate you. All right? It's just harder. Why? Because you don't make assumptions. You don't over romanticize this man. You don't create that character, that Sims character in your mind, because you're emotionally stable, sis. When you're emotionally stable, you're not easy to manipulate. You're not easy to run game on, and you're just harder to penetrate when it comes to the games. So a lot of you see the games a mile away, girl. Like, your vision is not fuzzy. You see it. All right? You see it. You don't make assumptions. You see the person for who they are, and you look at them for who they are, and you don't create that Sims character in your mind that got you going crazy. You don't do that, because you're emotionally stable. That's why. That is why. All right. That is why. I also learned. I can't really say where I got this from, because this is going to be controversial, and I can't really say where I learned this from just yet. One day, very soon, I'll tell you where I actually saw the light, girl. But recently I saw the light, and I was like, damn, is it really this easy to manipulate women? Yes. Why is it easy to manipulate women? Some women, not all, but majority. Yes, and I said the majority. It's easy to manipulate women because half the battle is getting a woman to believe, right? So one thing that women have a bad habit of doing is when they meet a guy, they create that Sims character in their mind, right? And when a man who is deceptive, right? Deceitful, whatever, he comes into your life. Half the battle was getting you to believe, but because you created that Sims character in your mind, you're halfway there, girl. You're at 50%, girl. And so when this man come in and he start doing everything that Sims character in your mind created, girl, it's gold, because you already believe it. You already created the Sims character in your mind. He didn't even have to do no work for real. He didn't have to do much, because you already created that Sims character in your mind. You on the phone like, girl, you won't believe what he did today, girl. And you just met the man like 5 seconds ago. Or you just started dating the man like 2 days ago. You just started dating the man like a week ago. And I'm like, damn, is it this easy to manipulate women? Yes, it is. It's so easy, because women created that Sims character. And then you got the googly eyes. And so this man can come in and half-ass it, and you're sold. You are sold. And just like that, he got your ass. But when you are emotionally stable within yourself, when you are happy within yourself, when you have peace within yourself, and you don't rely on these external things, you don't create the Sims character. You don't. You don't create the Sims character in your mind. You allow that man to show you who he is, and then you move accordingly. The Sims character, you don't need to do that. Because first of all, you don't need to escape your reality. You don't need to over-romanticize the smallest thing that this man does. Because you are content within yourself and you're emotionally stable. So you're looking to see if this man brings value to my life or to your life. You don't create the Sims character. So I noticed how easy it was to manipulate women because all you have to do is believe. All you have to do, like men, all they have to do is get you to believe. And half the battle is to get you to believe. Most women believe he's a good guy off bat. And they don't allow the man to actually show them who they are. A prime example. I could use Krishan as a prime example. Y'all believed that this girl was going to change. Half the battle to manipulate you, Krishan, she manipulated her fans. Half the battle was to get you on board with the fact that she's going to change. She's going to become this new person. You wanted to believe that. So you believed it. And she manipulated you with it. And it wasn't hard. It was not hard at all because you wanted to believe it. Instead of allowing her to show you that she was going to change, instead you jumped the gun like most women do. You made the assumption that she's going to change and it was set in stone and you didn't allow this woman to show you that she was going to change. So it was easy to bamboozle you because you wanted to believe that she was going to change. You wanted to believe that this baby was going to change her. And so because of that, you got manipulated because that girl ain't changing no time soon. Okay. I told you, Blueface, Krishan, they're mirrors. Okay. Y'all call Blueface a narcissist, but you tend to struggle with Krishan. Why do you struggle with Krishan? Because you want to believe that she is not that person, but she keeps showing you she is. And you just like, I don't see it. You want to know why? Because you are blind because you want to believe that she's not like that. You want to believe that she's this good person. You want to believe that she's going to be a great mom. You want to believe that she's changed. So when men come into your life and they manipulate you, half the battle is getting you to believe and the rest is history. So I'm just saying that's a prime example. That's a prime example. That is a prime example. I could use another situation. Erica Mena. You wanted to believe that she didn't say that shit. And she wasn't being, she didn't say it out of racism or colorism. She said it because somebody was coming for my child. Then what was she doing on Instagram Live? She was being passive aggressive. She was throwing it all up in your face. Like, that's why I check women the first time. If you don't check women the first time, they start to be passive aggressive. So half the battle with you being manipulated by Erica Mena was, I'm not believing that she's racist. I'm not believing that she said it because of colorism. Now she on live doing what? Playing in your face like most men do when they manipulate you. I'm just the messenger. Do not get mad at me. Okay. I see the cycle and I'm like, damn, that's why it is so easy to manipulate women. Because half the battle is getting you to believe. And if you're the type of person where you assume and you jump the gun and you're already on not defense, but you're on offense and you're like, yes, I believe them. Yes, I understand. Yes, I'm for them. Then from that point on, it is so easy to manipulate you. It's like, girl, it's like ice skating, girl. And that's why men, once they see that you got like you bought, you sold on who they on the Google eyes and stuff. Then they start the ice skate, girl. They just start the ice skate. And that's what Erica Mena is doing. She started seeing how all of these people were defending her. Like, oh, she didn't say that because of racism. She didn't say that because of colorism. Now she ice skating all up and through Black women's face. And I am so upset about that. Because I'm just like, see, this is why we should have held this accountable. Because she wouldn't feel so comfortable doing that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I see it. I can't unsee it. I'm like, God. I see it. I can't unsee it, y'all. So listen, allow people to show you who they are before you just jump on offense, because by you doing that, you may be partially manipulating yourself, sis, or at least agreeing to the manipulation because you wanted to believe. And so that was 50%. And then all they had to do was mirror some change or mirror some behavior that was a part of your Sims character, and you were sold. Hate to say it, but it's the truth. All right. So it's that easy. It's that easy to believe it's that easy to be manipulated when you're a woman. So allow people to show you who they are first.
Baby. The worst.
She talks here about how we need to stop this stigma of single women, because single women actually are single by choice, and they're single because they've done the requisite work to realize what they're worthy of, and they have now replaced that with the need to be chosen. I have been going through this the last year, and it is absolutely a mind F when you realize how much you have put up with mistreatment and breadcrumbs because you need to be chosen. And it is a thing that is replete in our culture, especially for women. We are taught from a young age via Disney movies that to be chosen is the end game. And especially in a religious patriarchal structure that I grew up in, I was taught as a little girl that to be chosen by a man was the ultimate goal. And once I was no longer chosen by a man because I was choosing to be a hermit, I was being very choosy with the types of men that I allowed into my sphere. I had to reckon with myself. I had to reckon with my value, with my self-worth. It has probably been the hardest shadow work I have ever done, because when people talk about decentering men, that does not mean that we hate men, and that does not mean that we want to be single forever or that we never want to be in a relationship again. It simply means that self-love is always honoring ourselves and never abandoning ourselves. And too often, women, myself included, some of my girlfriends, they are self-abandoning to be chosen. They are putting up with breadcrumbing and toxic behavior from men to be chosen. And so all decentering men means is loving yourself enough to be single and to attend to your own needs rather than abandon yourself over and over again to be chosen. It is a huge part of self-love. Self-love is not all bubble baths. It is never abandoning yourself. And I will tell you right now, having stringent standards, having the bar be up here as opposed to it being down here, has drastically decreased the amount of male attention that I have. And it has forced me to go inward and heal myself and look at all of the ways that I felt my whole life that I needed to be chosen to have value and worth, and to find value and worth within myself without it centering around being chosen by a man.
You know what? I had a friend ask me why I'm not out there dating.
I feel like I just want to say that I love the energy right now. And no, but I feel like this was supposed to be women's empowerment. I always felt like this was true women's empowerment. I felt like I said, the femininity, it wasn't empowering to me because everything was for a man. You know, even my femininity was supposed to be for a man. I'm like, damn, is anything in this life supposed to be for me and just me? Like, I don't understand that. I never understood that. Like, and then the swirler movement for man, divesting for man, the body positivity movement, that became toxic because I felt like it enabled me not making the best choices and decisions when it came to my health. But again, that's my perception of the body positivity. Like, that's my opinion. What was another one? Oh, the Black Lives Matter. That wasn't empowering to me because it was all about the Black man. What else? Pro-Blackness, like, again, Black men. This is like the first movement that I can actually say is empowering to me because it's just about me. I don't know. It's just about me. And it's not, there's no policing or there's no dictating what I need to do to change myself to be empowered or liberated. It's me embracing myself to be liberated and empowered. So this is like the first movement where I'm like, okay, this is true women's empowerment, and it has nothing to do with men. It has everything to do with us. And I don't have to change myself to be empowered. I just have to embrace who I am. And this is what I've been looking for my entire life. And I felt like all the other movements was me sabotaging myself, honestly. But this is the first movement where I'm like, this is the first movement where I don't feel like I have to sabotage or run from who I am. Like, I can just stand in who I am, and like, that's it. Yes, this is staying up. So I love it. I'll also leave a link to this video if you want to react to it as well. But this is, I love it. Like, I love my life. I love where I'm at in life. Like, I haven't been this happy since I was like a kid. And then sometimes I question if I've ever been this happy, because even when I was a kid, like, I kind of suffered with depression, but I had like those happy days. And so like my life now is like those happy moments that I remember, those happy childhood memories that I have. Like, I feel that energy again. And it took a long time for me to even get to this point, but I finally reached it in my lifetime, and I'm alive to be able to experience this.
And this is why men are crazy. Y'all crazy. You all don't respect women anymore.
Ooh.
You all don't respect the word no. You all expect to get something for putting out something very little. I'm sorry. My time is an investment. Now, I'm not asking you to spend thousands of dollars on me for a date, because I most stuff you could buy me, I could buy myself. Honestly, I can't. I can go out and buy myself a $400 dinner if I want to. I could do that.
Lovely.
I can go buy myself a cup of coffee too.
Ooh.
But I'm not gonna put out because you bought a dinner. No, it don't work that way. You have to prove yourself and who you are for me to even consider letting you into my energy. I'm gonna call it my energy. And then I fought some of these women out here too from allowing men to be in their energy too soon. You know, you got to prove your worth. Just like in the animal kingdom, it's one creator. She narrates National Geographic, and she was like, the man is the provider. And every time I see those videos and the animal is sitting up there making a nest and trying to make things attractive to prove to the female chooses, not the other way around. We choose.
We are the resources.
A lot of us choose bad. I'm not going to say I've chosen bad, but, you know, since I've gotten older, I'm very selective. And, you know, like I said, I'm not the one to play with.
So I have an unpopular opinion, and it's one that people try to convince me all of the time that will change, and it hasn't, and I still feel very strongly about it. And that opinion is that I never want to get married or be in a relationship.
Oh.
Right? I have people tell me all of the time how lonely I must be. And that's not the case at all. I have a son who I love so much, and we have fun playing games and doing activities together. And then when he's at his father's house, I have 2 dogs and some chickens and multiple businesses. I have hobbies. I'm learning multiple languages. I'm writing a book. I'm never lonely. I'm never bored. I never feel sad. And okay, not that I never feel sad, but I never feel sad about being single. And that woman with the list about being pregnant, that's how I feel about relationships. I see these couples and I see the inequalities, and I see the picking and the passive aggressive, okay, honeys, and the women just managing the workload. And I was that woman at one point. I was crying and begging for help with the housework, and I was working and going to school and taking care of the kids and taking care of the house. And I never want to be put in that position again. And quite frankly, I worked so hard to get where I am with my finances, with my businesses, with my mental health, with my happiness, that putting all of that in the hands or letting another human have some impact on that when I can't control their actions, it just doesn't seem worth it to me. It feels a lot like when women say they don't want to have children and people try to convince them that they will eventually. That's how I feel about this. And I think that we should normalize women not wanting to get married or not wanting to be in a relationship. We should why does anyone else care if I'm married or not? Why does that impact? Why does it matter? I don't understand why people seem so determined to convince me why I should want to be married or be in a relationship too. I had this lovely neighbor who I really enjoy, but she was trying to convince me that I should date a friend of mine, and we are not at all well suited for each other. And she was telling me about how marriage is about compromising and choosing your battles. And I explained to her, I don't have any battles and I don't have to compromise. So why would I want to do that? And she just could not understand why I didn't get it. And she said, well, we just, watch our TVs in our separate rooms, but, he's a pain in my ass, but I love him. And I just thought that doesn't sound enjoyable at all. So if you're a woman who agrees that they don't want to get married and they don't want to date and they don't want to be in relationships because being single is really great. I wish that we could normalize this for women. I wish women could know that they are not less than if they are single. I wish that women knew that they could be single and it doesn't have to be lonely if you do it right. I take a book and take myself out for fancy meals all the time and just have the best time. I take myself on solo trips. I go solo camping. I do all of these things on my own and I make it fun because it is fun. And I never feel sorry or bad for myself because why would I? I am living my dream. So to sum that up, my unpopular opinion is that it can be cool to be completely single and be single by choice. And I think that more people should explore that option because it's pretty great.
Fellas, I don't know if you are intentionally or subconscious.
And I don't understand this. She tried it. She didn't like it. It wasn't for her. How many men have done that? That's why I said, is this single by choice only a man thing or can it also be a woman thing as well? But see, we're seen as the resource. We're seen as resourceful. So when we're not linked to a man, it's a big deal. It's like a big problem. You should be giving your resources to a man. Why aren't you giving your resources? That's what I hear when people come at me sideways about being single. It's you're not giving your resources away? How dare you? That's what it sounds like. It doesn't, it's not even coming from a good place. It's why are you wasting? You're just wasting your resources. A man can use those. And I'm just but I don't feel valued though. That's why I'm keeping my resources to myself. I don't know. It's very strange. Now, if you can find a man that is valuable to you, go for it. Why would you not go for it? But not a lot of these men are not valuable. They cause too much chaos, confusion. And I feel if a man comes into your life and he's confusing you, that's not divine. And what does divine mean? It's not supposed to be a part of your destiny. It's not in alignment with your purpose. It's just a hot mess, girl. So if a man comes into your life and he creates confusion, he's hot and cold. One minute you think he likes you, the next minute you don't know. One minute you think he's in love with you, the next minute you don't know. It's not divine, girl. That's just, it sounds a mess. That's what it sounds like. So, sounds like that man is not aligned with you.
Being confused by what we mean when we say we would rather stay single, but it's not because we don't want a relationship. It's not because we don't want companionship, partnership. The problem is, why would we get into a relationship specifically with a man when it does not improve the conditions of our lives, or at the very least maintain the status of life that I currently provide to myself? Why? So if I'm financially stable, emotionally stable, if I go to therapy, if I have taken the time to build a genuine connection with people around me, a community, why would I want a relationship with a man who has not even taken steps to improve his own life, but want to be in a relationship with me? Why?
Listen, people like you devalue the Black community. The Black community is on fire. It's in hell. All right? Every day we are entertained by the Black community and it's in hell. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's literally in hell. So let's address those issues before you come in here with that bullshit. All right? The Black community is literally the pits of hell. I said it. All right? We're entertained by Krishan and Blueface and Jaden. We're on a daily, by the way. Just saying, on a daily. We're entertained by, is it E-Kane? Is her name E-Kane? And Chris? I just learned about them yesterday. And then I was listening to one of her lives, and I was just like, what the fuck? The Black community is in flames. All right? Then I learned, ladies, brace yourself. I learned that Black men kill each other every hour and a half. every 1.5 hours, a black man kills another black man. Then I also learned, well, we already knew this, that black men unalive black women every 4.5 hours. So then I'm just like, oh, you know what? Oh my God, this makes so much sense. No wonder they're unaliving us every 4.5 hours, because they're unaliving each other every 1.5 hours. So how can a community be devalued by me, who's teaching self-love and health, right? How can I devalue a community where the people, the men in that community, don't even value themselves? Make it make sense. Even the women, some of the women don't value themselves. Krishan, Ekane, I mean, I can give you a list, because Ekane, girl, what is going on? I don't even know the girl. But I'm like, please, bring back the value. Maybe it starts with singlehood for a generation. Bring back the value. How about that? But the value is lost. All right. Have you listened to the music? Have you listened to the music? Have you seen what the younger generation is being entertained by? Let's address those things first. All right. Let's address those things, because maybe those things are influencing my stance. Have you thought about that? Oh my God, no, you didn't. Oh my gosh, no. Have you thought about how my stance is being influenced by baby mama culture, baby daddy culture? I don't want to be a part of it. I don't. Like, y'all need to go on somewhere. Have you thought about how the ways of the community is influencing my stance with this? So, ladies, black men, they unalive each other every hour and a half. Every hour and a half, they unalive each other. Every hour and a half, they unalive each other. So how can a community of men value you when they don't even value themselves? All right. So how about we bring back the value in the black community before you come at me with that, please? Because until men can address their issues, like you're unaliving each other every hour and a half, a black man is losing his life to another black man. If you don't address that, listen, don't come at me sideways. Yes, you heard me. You heard me. You heard me. Every hour and a half, every 1.5 hours. Crazy. I never even thought to look into it. And then I was like, wow, they're unaliving each other every hour and a half. That's a mess. So how can a community that is so violent be valuable to me? It's not. All right. I think some of you are living in the past. Because at one point, yes, the black community was very valuable. But black men were not unaliving each other every hour and a half. All right. The nuclear family was the foundation of the black family, of the black community. And we saw those images of black families. Like, stop living in the past. It's 2023. And then a community cannot have value if you're unaliving your own women every 4.5 hours. And even your children. You're unaliving your children. So make it make sense. Please. Make it make sense. Okay. I feel like you want some keep hope alive. No, I plan to enjoy the rest of my life. So I'm not on some keep hope alive. I'm on living my life the best way that I see fit. And unfortunately, due to the conditions of the black community, that ain't it. That ain't it. And ladies, that's crazy. Every hour and a half. That's crazy. And I'm thinking about setting my clock on every hour and a half and just have a full day of just that alarm going off. Like, oh my God, another man lost his life. 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 Every hour and a half. So on that note, I'm logging out. All right. And to the people that are interested, look into it. But I don't know if you've been, looking at your surroundings. Like, the community has lost its value because it does not value the lives in it. That includes the children. I never thought I would ever say children are also losing their lives. It's insane to me. So how can a community be valuable if it doesn't even value the children in the community? It's a mess. All right, I'm logging out. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's evening. And I hope to catch you in my next one. Give the video a thumbs up.